Hey there, it's Dr. Jennifer Stoll from Cimarron Global Solutions, and I've been thinking about a few things today. So I just wanted to hit record on the computer and talk to you about them. Now, right before I hit record, I finished recording the Business of Sports Tourism podcast with Joel, Ben, Cherie, and Cassie. And we spent almost an entire hour talking about my recent triple dip article. And yes, we got over the nod to Seinfeld, which might be the greatest part of the article. But what I was really impressed with the four of them is their willingness, one, to start talking about these things that I brought up in the article. They were willing to look at it from a different perspective. And one of the things that we get stuck in the industry is just this mindset of more, more, more. We must do more, more, more. We must host more, more, more events. Well, I actually think that's one of the things that we need to have a little bit of a paradigm shift. I'm much more of a fan of quality over quantity. And I like to call it market optimization. So, what is the best possible landscape of events or event portfolio for your market? Not the market down the road, not the market across the country, for your market. And I think that looks different in every place. But here's the key: what it what it's comprised of is the same across the board. So you hear me talk about market optimization in that podcast. I encourage you to watch it, but I also wanted to spend a few minutes just outlining what that looks like in my mind. So after the podcast, I grabbed a piece of copy paper and my kids' markers and I just wrote down this model that you see right here. Is it perfect? No. It was a quick throw some thoughts down on paper. But I think it could be helpful for us understanding the slight shift. And if you've listened to me talk before, you listen to that podcast, you'll know that I spoke a lot about this right here. And it's the remember the so that. Now, what we do in the industry is really important, but we're doing what we do. We're recruiting visitors so that we can get these other things. And this is what market optimization dives into. Let's start over here on the very left. The bread and butter of what we do is right here. It's that we bring in visitors to our community. And through that, we're trying to achieve a set of desired outcomes. And let's just keep this really simple. These desired outcomes, we put them in four buckets. And you've seen this in our resident sentiment national benchmark study that we did with Longwoods. We grouped them into four main categories. One is economic benefit, two is community exposure, three is sports, society, and cultural development. And four is sustainability for the future. So we bring in the visitors, and our outcomes, or what we hope to get out of bringing those visitors in falls in any one of those four buckets or a variety of those buckets. Remember, different events will result in different outcomes. All right, so this is where it gets a little interesting. Normally the cycle would stop right there. We just spin it around and around, bring more visitors so we get all these things over and over and over again. But I'm going to challenge you on the market optimization framework to actually look at how we optimize. How do we take all of these four categories and apply an optimization to that? So what do I mean by optimize? Well, what's the best for your market? What are the outcomes you're trying to achieve, and how do you spread those out across your entire event portfolio? That's going to be the indicator for you on the types of things that you should recruit, and those, quite honestly, like I mentioned in the podcast, that you just got to say thanks but no thanks to. So optimizing shifts the perspective from more to really a quality over quantity conversation. Now it's just not about the number of events. It's about making sure that the events best serve our community. Because really, what we're doing isn't just going back to driving more and more visitors on end. What we really want to do is this over here. And this is what results from the optimization effort. And this is creating a better places for residents. And by the way, better experience for visitors. This is the so that. We do this over here. We bring the visitors. We yield these desired outcomes in appropriate fashions so that we can create a better places for residents and our visitors have a better experience. Now, what I see oftentimes is we just stop at the desired outcomes. And usually we stop right here with this one in economic benefit. And all we talk about is room nights, room nights, room nights. Well, in actuality, if we stop right there, we're leaving out these three other important and very diverse range of outcomes that we're trying to achieve. And these are the things: the exposure, the building sport society and cultural development, the sustainability for the future. Those are the things that are going to drive our industry forward. And by the way, they're the best ways to tell the story and demonstrate our work's value. So we're cutting our nose off despite ourselves if we just stop with the economic. That was part of the conversation today. How do we do this? How do we get people to believe the economics? And I say, well, do the economics and do them with integrity, but focus on some of those other things as well. Remember, we're creating better places for residents and, coincidentally, creating better experiences for our visitors. Now, this is the key. You could stop and just do that. But what I'm encouraging you to do is this black arrow down below. Once we achieve that, we need to make sure that we're adjusting and then rinse and repeating. So we're not going to get it right every time. In fact, this is a journey, not a destination. We're not going to nail it and then walk away and say we're done. We want to continue to mold this process for what works in our community. We have to align our community values, our community objectives with what we're achieving. And chances are that we've talked about our value to our destination in terms of that it's a good value for the community. But are we really showing it, and are we maximizing it? Those are a couple of the questions. So let's review again. We do want to bring visitors. There's no doubt about that. But we want to look at this in a way. My mouse thing is acting funky. We want to look at bringing visitors as an input to achieving a diverse range of desired outcomes. These are the 4 buckets that are linked to our resident sentiment work. Within each bucket, there's a ton of different factors that comprise that. But we want to do it in a way where we optimize. It is quality over quantity, so that we can go back at the end of the day and demonstrate that we have created better places for our residents and better experience for our visitors. Now, is it going to happen right off the bat? No, it is not. That's why we must constantly be seeking adjustment, rinsing and repeating, and refining this process over and over and over. It's the fun part of getting to do what we get to do. We get to work in sports, and that's awesome. But we cannot lose sight of why we're really there. We're wanting to create community. We're wanting to create better places for our residents that are subsidized by the visitor. So let's not lose sight of that. Next time you're talking about what events you're going to recruit this year, next year, the following year, don't look at it from a perspective of more. Think of it from a perspective of market optimization. And I promise you, it's going to change the game on not only the impact that you have in your community, but the support that you have as well. So take this, use it. Feel free to reach out to me with any questions. If you need any help with your market optimization. Until next time, I'm Dr. Jennifer Stoll from Cimarron Global Solutions.